They will ask you why you left, why you stopped answering, why you changed, why you fell silent. And for the first time in your life, you will have the power to say nothing. You don't owe them closure. You don't owe them an explanation. You don't owe them the story of how long you stayed loyal to someone who kept rewriting the rules. You're allowed to walk away, quietly. Not because you're bitter, but because you're better. Better at recognizing your worth. Better at knowing when a space no longer values your presence. Better at understanding that sometimes the loudest statement you can make is leaving without a word. We're taught from a young age to over-explain, to justify our boundaries, to soften our nose, to keep people comfortable even when they're hurting us. You say, "I'm sorry I can't make it. I just have a lot going on. Maybe next time." But what you really mean is, "I'm exhausted. You never show up for me. I don't feel safe here anymore." And the truth? You don't need a bulletproof reason to choose peace. When someone repeatedly disrespects your time, your energy, your love, you are allowed to walk. Without debate, without defense, without guilt. Because peace is not something you earn by suffering. It's something you choose by seeing clearly. Silence isn't weakness. Silence isn't avoidance. Silence is power. Because silence makes people confront themselves. It echoes. It unsettles. It forces reflection. Explaining yourself over and over again rarely brings understanding. It often just gives them more chances to deny, deflect, or devalue you. And when someone's committed to misunderstanding you, even the clearest truth will sound like betrayal. So stop handing them your peace, piece by piece. Let your silence be your answer. Let your absence be your boundary. Let your distance be your decision. They didn't hear you when you spoke. Now let them hear the silence you leave behind. Guilt is a weapon, and the people who never respected your limits will be the first to call you heartless when you finally enforce them. They will say, "You changed. You didn't even say goodbye. You just left." But they won't mention the times you begged to be heard, the times you cried behind closed doors, the times you shrank yourself just to fit into their version of love. Guilt was never your burden. It was their tool to keep you quiet, to keep you compliant, to keep you in places that broke you. And now, you're done. Done explaining, done defending, done doubting yourself. You have every right to protect your peace, even if it makes someone else uncomfortable. Loyalty is not staying in places that abandon your soul. It's not clinging to people who let go of you every time they're inconvenienced. It's not suffering in silence because you once shared good memories. True loyalty begins with yourself, with your values, with the promises you keep to your own heart. When you stay loyal to yourself, you stop tolerating inconsistency in others. You stop making excuses for patterns that drain you. You stop calling pain love. Walking away without explaining is not betrayal. It is the highest form of loyalty to your healing. They will notice your absence. They always do. Not when you were suffering, not when you were crying, not when you were begging for effort. But the moment you go silent, suddenly they care. Don't be fooled. This is not accountability. It's panic. Not because they love you, but because they lost control. They don't miss you. They miss access to your kindness, to your patience, to your forgiveness. You walking away disrupted their comfort, not their conscience. So when they try to pull you back, don't offer an explanation. Offer distance. Offer growth. Offer silence. Because you are not returning to a cage you outgrew. You will not always be understood, especially when you change, especially when you rise, especially when you walk away from roles they liked you in. People don't resist your growth because it's wrong. They resist it because it reveals their own stagnation. So let them talk. Let them misinterpret. Let them craft whatever story they need. You don't need to be understood by those who benefited from your silence. Freedom is walking away without needing to be right in their eyes. Freedom is becoming whole, not proving your point. Freedom is peace, not permission. Leaving isn't running, it's returning to yourself, to your values, to your breath, to your boundaries. Make your walking away a ceremony, not a collapse, not a goodbye, a sacred shift. Every step you take away from what drains you is a step closer to who you were meant to become. They don't need to hear your why. You don't need to convince anyone you were right. Your peace is proof enough. You're allowed to walk away without explaining. From people who gaslight you, from roles that suffocate you, from conversations that always circle back to guilt. You're allowed to protect your peace without permission. And you don't owe anyone the story of how long you tried. Let your peace be the loudest thing you never had to say. Because the most powerful exits don't slam doors. They close them softly, and then they lock them forever.